Can I ask you, how tuned into the election would you guys say you are?
This is the first time we come here.
This is the first
This
time
is your
we
first
come.
rally?
Yes, it's first rally. Usually we got no time to come.
Yeah.
But since we're not staying far from here, so we come.
So I will assume that you guys are from this GRC.
Yes.
Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe about 7 to 10.
I'm like around a 6 actually.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a little bit more obsessed than the average person. I think since 2016, I've been following politics very deeply, not just locally but also overseas. There's this saying that if you don't care about politics, politics cares about you. So I feel like it's extremely important, for everyone, young people to the elderly, people from all walks of life. It's important, it's imperative that even if you have your busy schedules, your busy lives, it's extremely important to at least spend a couple minutes of your time every day, particularly before the elections, to at least read up what each party has to offer.
I will say that I'm a bit more tuned out this time, even though this is my first time being able to vote. I used to be very passionate, but I'll be very honest, I have kind of tapped out because I'm not as optimistic about Singaporean politics anymore.
Can I ask you, have you been to any of the other rallies?
Actually, no, this is my first rally.
First rally?
It's the first time voting also.
Can I ask why is this your first rally?
Because I would say that my parents know Harpreet actually, so because of that, this is the first time that Workers' Party is also here, so we thought that we would just support them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I went to the SDP rally at Sembawang West at Evergreen Primary School.
This is my first rally for this election, but I used to come with my grandfather as a kid.
So, question for you. So now that you have been to the other rally, what are the comparisons you can make between these two?
I think for sure during the SDP rally, the crowd was smaller. Because the venue was smaller and the crowd was smaller, I think there was a lot more group interaction between the attendees of the rally. And particularly because I think a lot of the people who were there at the rally were already quite familiar with the party's platform. I think people who attend SDP rallies probably have been following SDP for a while. I think they are big fans of Dr. Paul Tempaya and Dr. Chee Soon Juan. And for sure, when I was listening to Dr. Chee Soon Juan speak, the only way I can describe it is that there was pin drop silence. I think he really captured the energy of the room and you could feel the conviction in his voice. While here at the Workers' Party rally, it was absolutely insane. I've never seen a crowd like this ever. The electricity is palpable here. And of course, I also am a big fan of their platform, the Workers' Party platform, along with the SDP. So yeah, for sure, it was amazing. I really felt the energy from the crowd and the conviction in the politicians' voices, and yeah, it was great. Both were great in their own special ways. Yeah.
So, can I ask you guys whether you guys have a favorite politician?
So far, no, but we are Workers' Party supporters all the way. Yeah.
Harpreet Singh.
Harpreet Singh. Okay. Why did you choose Harpreet Singh?
I think that if he is voted into Parliament, I think that he will be the right guy, because I think that he comes from a place where the fact that he has many years of experience as a lawyer, I think that could really count when he debates in Parliament. Say that he's someone that's very charismatic and he knows how to motivate the people who support him. Yeah.
Favorite politician? I don't know, I don't really play favorites. I don't like to be a fan of politicians. I think they're here to serve us. I'm not trying to favor anyone in particular.
Can I have two? I would speak briefly on two. So I think one of which would be James Lim, not because he's handsome but seriously, if you look at his Instagram, right, he regularly posts these long, lengthy posts talking about public policy. I really appreciate when someone can passionately and deeply speak about policies and proposals that in great detail that are highly relevant to Singaporeans, particularly the average Joe. As for another one, I'd say Dr. Chee. During the rally the other day, Dr. Paul Tempaya mentioned that he believes that Dr. Chee is one of the two conviction politicians that we have in Singapore, and I really do agree with that. When you get to experience seeing him speak in person particularly, you can really feel that there is not a single thing that he says that he doesn't mean. He truly believes in everything that he says and he walks the talk. I can't imagine why anyone would not want a man like that in Parliament. Having that sort of voice in Parliament is like ultimately great for democracy. Yeah.
What is one thing that Workers' Party advocates for that resonates with you? Why do you feel so strongly about Workers' Party?
Because they really listen. They listen, they care, and I believe we have a better future with them.
Do you have any personal recounts with the Workers' Party that makes you feel this way?
No, actually, I just feel this way. Even my parents also, you know.
They advocate for change.
In the manifesto, they talk about this policy of allowing singles to rent. There might be people who are worried that this sort of thing might like increase competition for like BTO flats or even resale flats, and increase like the cost of buying a HDB flat in Singapore. However, people fail to realize that this issue about having HDB flats being unable to be bought till you're 35 as single is like directly linked to the reason why fertility rates are low. Like, I'm sure you've all heard of Josephine Teo talking about how, you just need a small space to make babies, right? But no, I think that is simply untrue. I mean, like, ask any young person out there, do you really want to be... I need not say it, but do you really want to be there with your parents when you're doing it? In order to solve the fertility crisis that we have in Singapore, like, one of the main first steps we should be talking about is how do we allow singles to feel stable enough to be able to start a family. And that often starts with, something big, like to ground them. For example, like a HDB flat, where, they are able to get on their feet, to learn how to like care for themselves, to live for themselves, right? And also have the privacy to, to date, to not have your parents meddle in your affairs. So, yeah, I think that's one particular policy that the Workers' Party has spoken about, or rather policy proposals that I really resonate with.
Yeah, I really agree with like the housing policy stuff, because it's not just like a fertility problem as well. Like if you just think about just needing separation, needing space, like and growing up and like developing, and because my parents, they got to like live on their own even though they were like super like poor, like at like 23, 24, and find their own way. I think we are kind of like developing a population that is becoming a bit stunted because we cannot afford to like go our own way. I feel like if we really want to see Singapore progress, or like have us be a population of people who are worldly, who are knowledgeable, we need to have people to be able to move out and to like find their own way and create their own path and find who they are. Because if everyone's just going to stay at home and be comfortable all the time, then we are not growing, we're not expanding, we're not developing as a nation. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, can I ask you, what are you most frustrated about as a Singaporean?
First thing is, there's a lot of things we are frustrated about. The GST, the price of a house, and everything. Cost of living is super high. So it's just so sad.
We cannot retirement. Have to work.
Yes. And then our CPF also being whole, which is so sad. We don't get to enjoy what we did, After so much work, then,
So can I ask you guys, how old are you guys this year?
58.
58.
58, yeah.
What do you guys do?
We sell food. Yeah. We own a stall, which is the rental is super expensive.
You guys rent a store around nearby here, or?
No, in Ang Mo Kio.
Ang Mo Kio.
Yeah.
And you feel like the rental is super high for you to feel like it's sustainable.
Yes.
So we hope that Workers' Party comes into power, something like that will change.
Of course, that's what we hope
We
for.
hope for that.
There must be someone who can help us. Workers' Party! Yay! Hammer.
Frustrated, not really, I wouldn't say that, but I think that, maybe for us as maybe hopes for getting married, I think things like, growing costs and maybe houses, I think that could be really a struggle for us, but I think that hopefully we'll manage that in the future. Yeah.
I'm frustrated that I've become so pessimistic about Singaporean politics that it's pushing me to a point of apathy, because I think voter apathy is one of the killers of like democracy. It's really irritating that the state of the way things are right now are putting me in such an emotional state. because I want to care about my country, I want to love my country, I want to be happy here. But if I cannot see a future here, if I cannot see myself living here, having like a job that makes me happy, that can fund and pay for a home that makes me happy, and then a home to house a family that makes me happy, then I don't know where to go from here, because I feel like a lot of these questions are still left unanswered, and I feel very like not really cared for by our current government. And I feel like, yeah, and also just as a queer Singaporean as well, like I feel like no one really cares, no one really talks about us, and I'm really tired of like my community having to constantly have to lean on each other because no one else cares about us. We are always having to look out for each other because we're scared that no one else will look out for us. And I'm really, really sick and tired of that, because I look around me and I don't see a poor country at all. I don't see a country that is lacking. I see a country that is full of abundance, but that is not being afforded to a lot of us. And that's really, really frustrating, because every day I wake up and I see this and I'm like, wow, why isn't this generosity afforded to me and only to people who can stay in private properties and stuff like that? Like, why is it only afforded to a certain group of people and not someone like me? Yeah.
I feel like he summarized a lot of what I would have wanted to say, which is the crux of the issue, like for many young Singaporeans, is the cost of living crisis and income inequality. And like he mentioned earlier, yeah, we do live in a country of abundance. We regularly run into budget surpluses every year. We have billions and billions of dollars in the reserves. And while I understand that Singapore needs to be prudent, as we are in our wealth and prosperity did not come easily and it can be taken away at any time. But like the Workers' Party mentioned earlier in the rally, it is ridiculous that we need to increase GST at a point in time where we have the COVID crisis, while we are running billions of dollars in surplus. Like, when can this money be used as an investment to for young Singaporeans? Do they not understand that if you invest in young Singaporeans, you will see dividends paid in the future? Why do we have such short-term thinking? Why is it so important that we hoard all of this wealth in our reserves? We're not spending sufficiently for the youth that's struggling today, where HDB prices are skyrocketing because of the decision in the 90s to make it an asset, rather than have it achieve its original goal, which in fact Lee Kuan Yew set out to do when he was elected as a Prime Minister, which is it should be first and foremost to house the vast majority of Singaporeans. Why are we turning it into an asset for speculation? We need to move back to the model beforehand, where public housing is not an asset to be speculated, but rather a public good that serves everyone, not just those who are lucky enough to win the BTO lottery. Yeah, thank you.
So you guys own a store at Ang Mo Kio. Can you tell us a little bit about your store?
Okay, it's in Orange Point.
Orange Point, Ang Mo Kio Street 62.
Yeah.
Uh,
We are selling Malay food.
Yes, correct.
Our signature dish is our Misia Mirabos Mi Soto, our Sky Rice, the latest menu we had.
And boneless chicken.
Yeah, boneless chicken rice.
What's the name of your store?
SD Cuisine.
Yes.
SG Cuisine.
Sandra and Dino.
Thank you, Sandra and Dino.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.